poppin', y'all? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I'm Wayno. How y'all feeling today? Today we talking about Adam22. We talking about Brooklyn. We talking about New York City, and we talking about Adam's takeover of content, what he's doing in the city. I see a lot of people upset, and I can understand why they upset. I ain't gonna lie. Like I get why y'all upset, but I also want to call out the fact that the outrage is not really outrage, right? It's not really real. Reason being is because Adam22, I'm going to first off start out by saying I don't have no problems with Adam22. I've only had a good relationship with Adam22. The only time Adam really pissed me off is when he called me Wallow instead of calling me Wayno. But aside from that, Adam22 has been a person that's lent his platform to me, no jumper. I went on there with Sada Baby. I went on there to do an interview with Adam at one time, and I went on there to do another interview with Adam. We had a good conversation, right? I know that when I have a conversation with somebody, I dictate how the tempo goes in the effect of if you saying something where you trying to bait me, I don't have to take the bait. If you saying something where you trying to get me to speak in a certain way or get me angry about something, that's all on me on how I take that. But people are really, really outraged. Even myself. I did an episode on this. Y'all could go back and watch it, where Adam interviewed the young man who was a part of Pop Smoke's death. And, you know, one thing I did say is like, yo, LA would never, when I talked about LA, I'm like, yo, LA would never go for that, right? And we all know that LA is the most aggressive place on the planet, right? Nah, I love y'all, but that they wouldn't go for that. If somebody passed away in New York, hypothetically speaking, and it was a LA person due to some dudes that was from New York, if anybody did an interview with that said person, yeah, there would be outrage. I was more so upset that Pop Smoke's mom had to see something like that. His brother had to see something like that. You know what I mean? People who actually loved him had to hear from this guy who got such a light sentence. He only got like 4 years or something because he was a youth offender. And he talked about it like it was nothing. Now, being gangster is a cold job, like Rick Ross said on Mafia Music 2. But looking at this whole thing with Adam22 being in New York, again, I'm going to say a lot of this outrage is fake. A lot of people are calling out, oh, well, he just got all the 60s in LA indicted. Did he? I know that, you know, a lot of people wanted to go on his platform because he has a big platform. And they made, it kind of shifted. It shifted from music. It shifted from music and like discovery to just gang conversation and gang antagonizing other gang members and, you know, fights and potential situations between Crips and Bloods and, you know, Mexicans and all types of stuff going on. But when I look at what he's doing is like, all right, if you know the train is coming and you want to stand in front of the train, then you can't complain if you get hit. Now, I don't think that Adam is responsible for people going to prison, because even the people that went to prison, Big U isn't on his platform. Big U isn't up there doing a bunch of conversations with Adam and doing lives with him and doing a bunch of stuff with him. But, you know, it was criminal activity that said alleged criminal activity that happened outside of whatever platforms that existed. So the criminal activity is what got them there. Now, Loose Cannon going up there, I think that Loose Cannon be lying about 95% of the stuff that he says, other than probably Good Morning. But he was going up there and saying all of these things that was raising the antennas, but he's also openly admitting to being a gang member, right? Brick Baby was up there, and while he was doing interviews and all of that, it shifted into like a conflict, like a civil war between Crip sets. You know what I'm saying? It shifted into that, and him saying, yo, I put Kill Squad in the street and all, and I got more hats than you got. Squabble. It got ridiculous. It got all the way out of pocket. But for the people who complain about what happens with that type of content, let's put one thing into perspective. Don't none of y'all give a damn what happens to a gangster. People don't feel sorry for gangsters. People don't care about gangsters. Real gangsters that's in the street. Real gangsters that put in work. Real gangsters that, you know, bang what they banging no matter what. They're a gangster no matter you catch them at Disneyland or if you catch them on a block, right? Don't nobody care about them. So when I see people saying all of this stuff about, yo, don't let them trick you and don't let them this and don't let them that. And then I started watching some of the footage. I made an assessment. First of all, in a lot of this footage, there's no crimes being committed, right? There's no crimes being committed. Now, Bobby Shmurda. When I see Bobby Shmurda, and let's watch some of this footage of Bobby Shmurda right quick.
What's going on, man? You outside. This is what y'all talking about, right? Yeah. Say what up to the game. Yeah. We on the turf. You know what? You know what? You know. It's where that nigga. We ready. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm thinking my shit out when I threw that up, you She in Brooklyn. Yeah, she in Brooklyn. Oh, hey, yeah. I don't want to clock. I didn't realize how little was in there. I had to really.
Back to Bobby Shmurda, right? So with Bobby, he just had this situation with the tour and, him getting himself together and all of that. And this is how I feel about Bobby. Now, I don't believe that right now, because Bobby, he's never really like denounced fully, said he's not Crip or none of that. He's not. But he's going on to say that he doesn't talk about certain stuff in music because he doesn't want to go down that path. What I do believe in Bobby Shmurda is that he can be a good entertainer. I think that he has a really, really good, unique story. His story is his own. And then I also believe that, like, he's a good entertainer in the form of, like, he's funny. He's a character. You know what I'm saying? One thing you know about him is that if you see him, he's going to be real animated, all of that, right? Now, again, like I said, Adam, he went to go chill with Bobby Shmurda. Then he went to the Bronx. He got this blood dude from Cali named Pill with him. Let's watch some of that as well.
Hit him in the grave, make his eyes hurt. Put him in the grave on a t-shirt. Nigga say my name, I'ma squeeze first. You got it. Let's go. OG. Hit it. Let's start the video. Check. Where you at?
Jump out, nigga, do your shit. Northside, nigga.
Yes, we on the East Coast.
So Adam, he went through Patterson Projects, I'm hearing. Shout out to Patterson Projects. My mom used to live in Patterson Projects when she was a kid. That's in the Bronx. But he went to Patterson Projects and he got to do. It's clear that Adam got a type. You know what Adam's type is? Gangsters. When you see Adam and he got a Crip map with him, 4 extra with him, a Brick Baby, King Pill now. What's the common denominator between all of these said people? They gangsters. And don't nobody feel sorry for gangsters. Now, I think that, like, again, I think a lot of this outrage, man, is fake. Do I have a problem with Adam22 coming to New York City and going through the hood? No. Because you can't stop it. And it's not that you just can't stop it. It's that people give this access. And I'm not saying that, they shouldn't give him that. They talking about, Pop Smoke was a Crip and he interviewed somebody that was from, he was from Brooklyn and he was a Crip. If they don't care, if they don't care, you think they don't care. People want to be seen, man. People want to tell a story. And this is how I look at it overall, from an overall standpoint. I think that if this type of content bothers you, you have to accept the fact that it's not never going to end, and you just got to stray away from it. You got to stay away from it and stray away from it. I mean, I don't watch baddies. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women out there that y'all watch reality TV, but y'all don't watch baddies. And why? Because you know that that type of content don't feed your soul, or don't feed what you into, or don't feed what you like. Move it out the way. There's tons of other things to watch. But when I see all these people talking all of this stuff about, yo, don't let them trick you. He's just exploiting you. That's what he been doing. It ain't like he only did, like, it ain't like he just came to New York to do this. He did it in LA too. So you think that people in the hood that's gangbanging is gonna say, nah, you can't come over here when they want to be seen? I'm not making no excuses for it. I don't particularly care too much about it. I don't watch this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I see it because it comes past my timeline. But I don't watch this type of stuff. But I think that, like, what we have to realize when it comes to content creation is that for all the things that we find problems with, what we find problems of, when we look at certain stuff and we be like, yo, man, how could they? Well, that's not going to stop it. And also, for all the people who say, yo, but ain't none of y'all doing nothing for no gangsters. People clown people in gangs all the time. Y'all old, y'all ain't got no money, y'all ain't got nothing going on. And then, right? Then when they start doing shit like content or whatever, which that's such an open-ended word because it means everything. You know what I mean? But when they start doing stuff like this, then there's outrage for that too. Let them people do what the hell they want because they gonna do it anyway. Guess what I'm gonna do? Me and my members, my family that watch me, we gonna stray away from that. We ain't gonna give this too much. I hope that Bobby Shmurda is working on some stuff that he could elevate his profile, because I do still think that he can make a lot of money in entertainment. Do I think he's the best rapper? No. You know what I mean? Do I think that he's gonna be like the biggest rapper eventually? No. Do I think that he can entertain? Absolutely. Do I think that he should get a documentary to tell his story? Absolutely. Do I think that with that same said documentary, can he build a world around that and create merchandise and create spaces for him to speak and tell his story and keep kids out of some of the same mistakes that he made? Absolutely. Does he want to do that? I have no idea. I have no idea. I just think that when we look at all of these people, the Adams, the Brandon Buckinghams, the Vlads, while people complain about their platforms, they spend so much time complaining about their platforms that they don't give any light or any love to platforms that have nothing to do with this. They don't show no love to the platforms that have nothing, like, that's not partaking in none of that stuff, that's really emphasizing on music or really emphasizing on culture or really emphasizing on, you know, actually doing things to make things happen. The hood is going to be the hood. Don't get it twisted. Adam not the first nor the last. People been coming to the hood to film what's going on in the hood since the beginning of time. You could go back all the way to ABC and NBC. The news used to go interview Bloods and Crips in LA all the time. Done tons of stories about them, tons of documentaries about it. Look at American Gangster. You know what I'm saying? That show that's on, it was that on History Channel? I think American Gangster is on History Channel. Yeah, but look at those shows, right? Those shows have always been able to open up some sort of level of blind into things. Now, while I don't agree that, now look, if you're a criminal and you're on a run or you trying to stay low, you should not be on camera. But ain't nobody going to be able to change nor fix none of this. All I'm urging people to do is you are what you eat. Start consuming the stuff that you love. Start talking about the stuff that you love. You know how we talk about manifesting and speaking things to existence? Stop speaking about the negative and start speaking about the positive. Big up the platforms that you love. Put people onto the platforms that you love. Don't complain about the other shit, because once you start complaining about the other shit, all you doing is promoting that. This is I Do It Myself. For the ones that rock with me, know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually will. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.